Hello, Mr. 411. What a great Sunday morning. I get to wake up to you. How blessed am I?
I
How's it
mean,
going?
it's wonderful, man. Today is a great day, and we have a great NBA slate today, man. So I know we got to talk about all that good action today. But before we do that, man, you asked me how my day is. It's great, man, and I'm gonna pass that back to you. How's your morning been so far?
Uh, no complaints. Good Lord woke me up. Gonna do a quick show and then get to watch a couple game sevens today. Nothing could be better.
Yeah, man.
Thought we
Man,
were
we
only
got it
gonna
too.
get one, but we got two.
Yeah, we got two of them today, and then we also have two conference finals that did end prior to Game 7, and we're gonna touch on those a little bit, wrap that up with a pretty bow, and
Yes,
then
most definitely.
we'll get into a little deeper conversation about the Game 7s. So you know the drill, Zach.
Yes,
Are you ready?
I am ready. Let us
Sports Brothers.
go get it. Really have to thank the production team for that. Great intro. Great
Yeah,
intro.
man. Yeah. One day we'll tell the story behind all of that and how that became. But yeah, man, in the end of
Yes.
that product,
In the
definitely
30 for 30.
satisfactory. Yeah.
Herman 30 for 30 with ESPN. We'll go over that.
Yeah. On ESPN 12, man. ESPN 12. Uh, but today is Sunday, May the 15th. The year is 2022. He is Zach. I'm Mr. 411. We are the Sports Brothers. We decided to do this show, put this Sports Brothers show together because we've been doing this since high school. And thanks to technology, we actually can put on our bucket list that we actually have a show.
We haven't been
So,
doing Sports Brothers since high school, but we've been talking sports and debating since high school,
yep,
just in case anybody was confused.
yep, man. But please don't be confused and do the following for us.
That is so nice. I tell you, we're
Yep,
getting better and better.
I
Boy,
tell
I
you,
can see
man.
them six-figure checks coming in no time.
Yeah, yep,
And I meant for me, my cut.
yeah. There you go. Well, one day,
I,
man, you keep speaking it into
hey,
existence. LeVar Ball always says that. He lives by that. So speak
hey,
it into existence. Zach.
I'm learning from Marcellus Wiley. Marcellus Wiley, more and more, he made sure he talked about the only thing that he was concerned with was getting paid. All of that other stuff he could have cared less about. Like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I need to change my mentality then.
Well, man, hit that likes, subscribe, and notification buttons for us. It helps us in many ways.
Yes.
It's actually a way that you can support us, and it doesn't even take a single dime out of your pocket. It just takes a little time just to press those buttons for us. We definitely we definitely appreciate it. We appreciate everybody who's watching and listening. And so, welcome to the show, Zach. In
Yes,
the
sir.
NBA, man, we have some news going on in our opening tip segment, and the NBA has there's a lot of talk about the Joker, winning the MVP, and it looks like it came down between the Joker and Embiid. We both think that Giannis also was in the picture as well, but definitely those two, and so it's a lot of back and forth on that. But guess what the NBA is doing now? They are they are designing, or design should be over by now, but they redesigned the finals trophy.
Yes.
um, Look like they put some more touches on the Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP trophy. And then the league has added um, an Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals award. So, man, what do you think about this, man?
Uh, I guess if the trophies needed a update or they thought they could make them maybe more appealing to, I don't think the teams care, but maybe someone did care in the background, so they wanted to give them a fresh look, maybe for display purposes for fans or whatever when they're showing the trophy on TV. The big thing uh, for me is they added the Eastern Conference and Western Conference MVPs. I want to say that's kind of like hockey and baseball that they're doing that. Will the NFL follow suit and have a MVPs for their conference games now? But not bad. My only complaint would be, and you and I spoke about this off camera, and I'm sure you'll give me your take. Uh, I get why you did Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson made 9 finals, won 5 of them. I Larry Bird was an absolute great player, but I think to a degree we're giving Larry Bird a little bit too much credit. And now, if you're just going with the maybe he helped popularize the NBA, okay, but if we just look at it on the court, probably should have been the LeBron James Eastern Conference Finals MVP. But that's it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to I will say this, even with Magic, there's some players that have played in the East and players that played in the West. There's some other players that could have been selected to model these awards after. But I think what the league is doing, the Magic and Bird, they came in together. They have this natural rivalry, and when they did come through into the league, it's like what you said. They basically changed the league at that point. It was the new generation of the NBA, more of the highlighting the player. You have the rivalry and everything. Just kind of was a natural fit, and and they are the ones that are responsible for the league going from just being a league to being like a popular league and able to really highlight individual players as well. So I think they're tying them together, and I think that's what it is. You have a Bird Magic, so I guess they did it like that. They could have did a Wilt Russell, but again, that would go back into a time where, a lot of the fans of today or the last 20 years, 30 years or so, they really won't gravitate to that and pull that in. But you say Magic and Bird, that sells, and so I think that's part of what they're doing, part of that marketing thing that the league is good at.
Well, I'm sure they, as you said, they talked to their brain trust and they came up with that. So okay,
Yeah.
it ain't no big deal. It'll be I'm not gonna be someone that gets all mad. Like I don't feel like it's a participation award. If you go to the with this series, as we'll get into, you've had some players that have put on some excellent performances. It's no reason not to reward that in a conference finals, because making the NBA finals, I think, should be celebrated more than what it has been. Like, people just kind of throw that to the wayside. When out of 30 teams, if you get there, I think it's a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
it should be a credit. It should be up. You made it to the finals and lost, like the Jerry West thing. And we can always get into that a little bit later. But it's competition. Somebody's gonna win. Somebody's gonna lose.
Yeah.
There's no shame if you went out there and gave your best.
Yeah, that's true. And as you mentioned that as well, I mean, imagine and think about this. We got to fast forward 15, 20, 30 years from now. This award will be part of a lot of people's conversation when they talk about greatest players of all time. And then you'll go back and people will say, hey, but you remember back when LeBron was playing, he might have had 12 of these awards. And that's a similar thing in my thinking when people dismiss Russell or dismiss Wilt or Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, going back into those days when they didn't necessarily have the all defensive team awards, and certain categories were not part of the stats, such as 3-point shots, blocks, steals. So, it's an ongoing thing. And but it will be interesting to see how that pans out in the future too, about as far as the conversations of when the mythical conversations of who's the greatest of all time and things like that. But yeah,
well, all of that helps with the thin slicing of who's who.
Exactly. But yeah, man, so that's what the NBA is doing. It'll grow on me, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be cool. It'll be cool to see that. All right, so also in the NBA, man, there was a injury And we're going to talk about this series in a moment, but Green from the 76ers, man. Green is Danny Green. That injury, it looked serious when it occurred. It looked bad, and it is confirmed that it was an ACL tear. So Danny Green, we wish him a speedy recovery, and that he can get back on the floor, man. But take a look. It couldn't happen at a worse time. $10 million in salary, which is not fully guaranteed, man. So the Sixers, as an organization, they have to make a decision here.
No, they don't.
They have to make a decision here.
They don't.
Well, they got to do something. So they got to make a decision what's best for their organization is, and you know where that's going to get. You know how that's going to end.
Exactly. That was it. They ain't making no decision. Their decision is already made. That's why that's up there.
Yeah. So Danny Green, that's very unfortunate, man, to get injured like that. And the timing, my goodness, because in the league where you do get, when you sign that contract, you get money. But man, that's really gonna sting there, man.
The only thing I might say about that is maybe the most unfortunate part is Danny Green seems to be a good guy and a team guy.
Yeah.
This stuff is gonna happen. Like you would, if you were gonna go that all things are fair, like people love to say, that would happen to people that are not team guys, and that way teams get forced to make a decision about them. But if that happened to somebody like, just to be real, if that happened to a Kevin Durant, Kyrie, somebody like that, they probably get a new contract anyway, though, and they just get the ability to heal through it. I think that's what happened with Kevin Durant. So it sucks. Danny Green is at the tail end of his career, because if he was probably 25, 26, he gets a contract extension.
Yes, sir. All right, Zach. We are on a lot of different social media angles here. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And all you have to do is type in 411 Sports World and you'll find it. And what else are we on, Zach?
We are on Zingo TV.
That's right. We're on Zingo TV as well. So we're spreading our wings here. And, we're starting from the bottom, like Drake said, in one of his tracks,
Yes.
Starting from the bottom, now we here, wherever that is, but we're here, so
not the
good
bottom.
job by our team there.
A little bit at the bottom.
Nothing wrong with that. We gritty, you know what I mean? We're gritty, getting it out of the mud. All those hardcore things, Zach.
Yep, sure. That's what all our high school classmates would say.
Yeah,
and probably
yeah.
college classmates too. Remember them two hard thugs?
Yeah, man. But look, it's not hard to support Stephen Little. He's a great individual and he's a talented man. He has an event coming up. So we'll talk about the Heat Sixers in a moment, but after this commercial break. So just sit back, relax. We'll be back.
Macon and Middle Georgia, get ready. They're back again. Gene Porter Legacy Productions presents the new hit stage comedy play, Church Retreat, coming to the Grand Opera House June 25th at 6 p.m.
All right, good night. I'm going to get my beauty sleep.
You know doggone well, ain't no beauty about you or your sleep.
I know you ain't talking. You so old, your family tree starts with you.
JPL has been entertaining thousands with his stage plays. This is his first comedy stage play musical. It promises to cater to every emotion.
You don't control who God anoints to preach, but what God has planned will come to pass, whether it's under you or another ministry.
With all due respect, that is not your decision.
Get your tickets today at www.thegrandmacon.com or text 478-302-9285. Again, that's 478-302-9285. So don't miss the hit comedy stage play Church Retreat, coming to the Grand Opera House June 25th at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30. Be there.
I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes. He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island. Lord.
Great commercial.
And we're back.
Once again, we'll be going to court. But hey, that was a great commercial. Has me excited to go see it.
Yep. So check it out, man. Just check out Gene Porter Legacy, and you get all the details, all the updates from there, and go from there. Use that phone number that was on there. All right. We said we was going to come back and talk about the Heat and the Sixers. So your Miami Heat, your team, the Miami Heat, they advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in the last 3 seasons. So good job by them. And they disposed the Sixers as previously mentioned, man. So let's put a little finishing touches on this series, man. Just your quick thoughts on
it. Big thing that I got from it is the Sixers, which they kind of sort of did it by bringing Doc Rivers back, which is good. They're another, and we talked about them. They're an organization that has to determine what direction they're going to go in and how they're going to do things. Supposedly what I hear, they need to, they probably don't want James Harden to opt in because I think he's going to get 46, 47 million. Instead, what they would like to do is do something possibly what Phoenix did with Chris Paul last year, where Chris Paul was due to get 40 plus million, but they gave him a 3-4 year extension, added money on it, but it ended up being say 30 million a year instead of one balloon payment. So maybe do something like that to smooth it out for Harden. He'd lose money this year, but he'd gain money on the back end if that's what he's looking to do. And you have to, and this is and I said, from the Sixers standpoint, what type of player is Joel Embiid? And I know we are in a microwave society, and for guys like us, we get to do the hot takes or instant kind of assessment of what is going on, and this is how it will be, and we give definitives or whatever. But is Joel Embiid a guy that you can win a championship with as your number one guy? And that just has to be, he's been in the league long enough now that you can kind of sort of make a decision about that. And you either need to try to get somebody in there that can help you win a championship with Joel Embiid, or maybe you need to move off of Embiid, because there's always, I got to be fair. I get on the Kyrie or whatever, and I don't think Kyrie is expected to be a 1 on the team, but maybe Joel Embiid is not a 1, because there's always something with him, be it his silliness. I think the irony of everything is Harden took 2 shots in the second half against the Heat, and that could be because the Heat played great defense. But why did they get rid of Ben Simmons last year? Or what was the criticism on Ben Simmons? Because he didn't want to shoot. So what does they say? The more things change, the more they stay the same. We got rid of Ben Simmons. We criticized Ben Simmons. And this is where the MVP talk for Embiid to me was a non-starter, in the sense that Doc and he created that Ben Simmons situation. Had they managed him differently, and you can talk about tough talk and all this other talk, but our buddy Rob always says, don't put stuff out in the media. It's a family. You can go talk to the guy, and that's just like you and I. When you start putting stuff out in the media, you're going to break relationships down. People should be able to talk to each other. So they have some soul searching to do, which is, I'd say not last year, but was it 2 years ago when the Sixers had the number 1 seed in the East?
That might have been when they lost to the Raptors, right?
Was it? I think it was 2 years ago, or maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. It might have been last year.
Did they have the 1 seed last year?
I think it was because they played the Hawks and the 4-5 matchup. The Hawks, over the Knicks in the 4-5. So yeah, they were the 1 seed last year.
And so you go from being the 1 seed where you had all these great championship aspirations to now it seems like you're a organization in disarray. They shouldn't be there based on where we're going to go start of last season when they had Doc or whatever. When they first brought Doc in with all of the pieces they had, they need to do some things. So I'm not just going to put it on James Harden. I don't want to just put it on him.
Right.
Because he's an aging star. I'm going to shift it back to the organization and to Embiid, where kind of the leadership should be coming from for everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, well, Zach, I think that the Sixers, well, we're going to first say this. Congratulations to the Heat. They did what they needed to do. You stated maybe some things about Embiid and where we need to kind of take a look at him overall as far as a championship win it all type picture. And one thing I noticed what the Heat did, and they're actually good at it, they move the ball as a team. And so they pass, cut, get it to the open guy. They spread the floor. And that's kind of what they did with the Sixers. They spread that floor, and that kind of nullified Embiid a little bit. Now, I will say this. The Heat did get a 2-game start because Embiid was not there for the first 2 games, which also rolls back to something that you mentioned, too, about his availability, as unfortunate as it was at that time with that type of injury. But, again, Embiid injured again, and that's also a reoccurring theme. So can you really trust Embiid long term throughout the course of a season? And that's where Ben Simmons actually came into play. He kind of put a Band-Aid on those stretches when Embiid did go down with injury. And I personally think the Sixers overreacted by letting Simmons go. They said trust the process, and that's what they told us, but then they didn't necessarily trust it all the way through with Simmons.
I don't think I don't think those people trust the process. And once Doc, like the reality is, once Doc and Embiid said what they said on camera about Ben, if you said it behind closed doors, maybe. But once they said it on camera, that was it.
Yeah, that was a wrap.
Whether they meant to do that or not, it was done.
Yeah, but what it said, they brought in Harden. Harden still averaged 18, and not saying that it's the Harden of old, but he's a piece. He's a piece, yes. And they need that other piece to step up. But I think they're looking at Maxey to be that player. But Jimmy Butler, man, they had Butler, so he would have been that guy. And according to what Butler was saying after the game, heading to the locker room, he was like, they chose Harris over me. You know what I mean? So the Sixers stuck with Tobias Harris and move Butler along, and Butler, you know what I mean?
Well, that is not actually true. Butler was doing the low-hanging fruit. They chose Ben Simmons over Butler. Butler, just like in Minnesota when he had to dust up with Karl Anthony Towns and I believe the other young star, Butler had a dust up with Simmons because he didn't like some of the things that he saw in Simmons that are coming down. So they chose Simmons over Butler.
Well, they should have chose Simmons. They should have chose Butler, and they should have chosen Embiid, and that would have been a great combination.
Once again, going back there could be no Butler and Simmons. They had to choose one or the other.
Look, teammates fight. Kobe and Shaq had their things. If you can you can make it work. They can get through that.
No, like this year is proof. No, like with certain dudes, you can't make it work. Like you said, Kobe and Shaq, but eventually Kobe and Shaq, the organization had to make a choice. Eventually, you have to make a choice.
Well, I'm saying even before that, part of the Lakers timeline, Kobe and Shaq were going at it even during the winning years, the championship years. So, I mean, teammates fight. Teammates don't always get along. You would like for it to happen that way, but you know, for Embiid to even come out and say, "Man, why do we get rid of Butler?" You know what I'm saying? So you got to do it, man. You got to give it a shot.
That adds more to me about like Embiid. When I think of leadership and everything, I think on the very low totem pole of Embiid. Embiid is a thrower, and he likes to shift blame. So that's an easy way for him to take the blame off of his performance or the injuries or whatever from him. And don't look at me, go look there, because I ain't heard Embiid say a damn thing about Jimmy Butler before that closeout right there. He could have said something about Jimmy Butler all year.
He could have.
And as far as what you said about Shaq and Kobe, think of Shaq and Kobe and these other guys you talk about as maybe back in the day when you used to have marriages when individuals would work through it and stay together or whatever. Nowadays, people we out. Ado working through it for 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. And I know Shaq and Kobe didn't do it that long, but just think of it. They at least waited until the kids graduated from high school. Now you got the folks a la Simmons. It didn't take Simmons no time to say he didn't want to play for Philadelphia anymore.
Yep.
Did it?
He
Doc
did.
and B said what they said, and he's like, yep. He wasn't giving it a chance at all. So I just think and then go look at Minnesota, because why would Minnesota get rid of Jimmy Butler? They should have kept him. They had a good thing going in, but it's just not like, I get what you're saying. Unfortunately, it's not like that. And Butler, I like Butler, but Butler, I'm not gonna say he's a bully, but sometimes he will take the easier fights, and to call out Harris instead of calling out Simmons, who is going through his mental health things right now, seems pretty convenient to say.
Well,
because Tobias Harris ain't done nothing to nobody. Why we getting on him?
And it's not that. I'm saying that the combination of Simmons, Butler, and Embiid, I think that would have worked, because the leadership situation, like when you question the leadership of Embiid, Butler can carry that. You know, the quietness of Simmons, you know, and people throwing darts at him. Butler would step in there and take care of that. The Sixers didn't have that one other guy to kind of lead them into a direction before they're ready to start leading. But hey, at the end of the day, the Miami Heat were the better team, and they advanced. Yes. And the bigger story is about them and what they did to get it done. So
that's
congratulations to your Heat.
Well, thank you. But that's the bigger story is the dysfunction in Philadelphia. And just to go back to the Simmons thing for a second, you and I talked about this like for a few years before it happened. Joel Embiid and Simmons weren't long for each other. Like, you just always got the feel they didn't enjoy playing with each other. And as you said, when Embiid would be out, Simmons played a lot better. At some point, sometime, they were headed for this divorce, because they just, I think sometimes it's like that with guys. In football, you might can get away with it because you have different sides of the locker room, and then you have different position groups or whatever. Like me as a defensive back, I don't have to worry about the defensive line too much, because we're going to be in different meetings. We're going to be doing different drills. I damn sure ain't got to worry about the offensive guys much, because that's totally different unit or whatever. We just got to make sure we all come together on a game day. But I think in basketball, you just do too much stuff together collectively to have a bad chemistry. And it was probably going to come to that. It would be nice if they could have worked together. And yes, the Sixers need to organizationally restructure, because I would say the Heat, they do have a culture, and you can kind of see it from top down. Yep. It's how things go. Like what was it? LeBron didn't want Eric Spoelstra. He wanted to pull his LeBron thing, and he gave Spoelstra a nudge and all of this stuff, and the organization downplayed it. He wanted to have a different coach. Pat Riley said not happening. Yep. And, there were certain things he wanted to do with his, and I'll say it, quote unquote posse. Ain't nothing wrong. Look, Sir Mix-a-Lot said posse on Broadway. Ain't nothing wrong with saying damn posse.
Hey, great song, by the way.
Absolutely. Hey, my posse's on Broadway. You remember that. And, even when Phil used posse, we talk about New York, but posse used to mean you were some bad hombres back in the day in the West. So, or you were getting it together to go out and catch some bad guys. What's wrong with posse? But at any rate, LeBron kind of sort of didn't like those things. I get it. He went to another organization. But if you look at how things have worked in those organizations, you have heard, post LeBron in Cleveland the first time, a lot more chatter. And these organizations that maybe keep wraps on things or at least have a semi-structure where they don't let you get too wild as a player, they seem to flow better. Now, some guys are good, like Trae Young. I haven't heard anything bad about Trae Young. You're close to Atlanta and everything, but I don't hear that he doesn't like show up to work, film sessions, or do all of this crazy type stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when you got a star like that, that's good. But when you get guys that are a little more, and LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, like certain individuals, and they are very good at their craft, they going to be a little bit more whatever. Going back to the Sixers, I don't think the Sixers have done a great job of grabbing a hold of Joel Embiid. Like they want to get Ben Simmons in check, which is okay. So you got Ben in check. But what about Embiid? He's done a lot of things that, in my mind, are questionable, and they need to figure out: is he going to grow up? Is he going to buy in? And you might tell me that he's young, because we always like to go back to that young stuff. But in basketball years, he's old. And if he can't be that type of leader that you need, going back to maybe you jettison him.
Well, we'll see,
Miami.
Man.
I mean, Lakers for Anthony Davis or something.
Yeah, well, there'll be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement in the offseason, and we'll see how all that plans out. Congratulations to the Heat for advancing.
Yes, congratulations. You get Boston or Miami. Or Milwaukee.
Or Milwaukee. Yep. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments too. But before we do that, Zach, we have to get another sponsor in here. Ernest Butts. That's right. Boxing Academy on 3555 Mercer University Drive, Suite 104-1, Macon, Georgia. That's 31204 zip code. Butts has 2 numbers. Look, he want to make sure that you get in touch with him. 478-254-5442, 478-319-1502. Ernest Butts Jr., Boxing Academy. Take a listen.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on? Ernest Butts Jr., CEO and president of East Butts Jr. Boxing Promotion. Over here off of Mercer University Drive, 3555 Mercer University Drive. You want some real good personal training? Meet your goals? Come see me. I can put you to work. Get those goals. Like I said, I'm located over here off of Mercer University Drive, over here in the Mercer Crossing Shopping Center. I'm open every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. The number over here is 478-254-5442. Or, if you're serious, you can reach me at my cell, 478-319-1502. Come be a part of a real boxing gym. Everything is real in here. Real trainer, real promoter. I promote pro shows in the city. But what I do best is personal training. I can get you in the best shape of your life. Give me a holler, man. Ladies, men, come holler at me. Self-defense, anti-bullying. I also work with kids, starting from the age of 4 years old. That's right, 4 to 7, and 8 to 16. Come shop with me. Have a great day. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Butts. I may just try to do that. He'll probably have to put me in the 4 to 7-year-old bracket, though.
Hey, man, he said he gets in the best shape of your life.
I know. I heard that.
Man.
I might take him up on that challenge.
Yeah, me too, man. I stepped in there a couple times, and he ain't lying. He going to challenge you, and That's probably why I took a little sabbatical. But I'll be back. No, he does a great job. I'm just joking, but Ernest Bush Jr., man, he will whip you into shape, and I like that he starts with the youngins. He takes them all the way up, and so you want to be into the professional ranks, he can help you there. If you want to just do it for cardio or exercising, as he stated, he'll take care of that for you as well. So you check out E. Bush Jr.
I say if you just want to learn how to take a punch, he can help you with that.
That's right. Exactly. It was a lot of go ahead, Zach.
Oh, I would say always good to know how to take a punch or take a hit. Just ask Chris Rock.
Yeah. I thought I saw him pulling up over there about a week ago.
Hey, he took the hit good. Look, you got to give him credit for that because he could have sprawled out all over the stage. So he's at least got a good neck, good jaw.
There it is. All right, Grizzlies Warriors. The series is complete. The Warriors advance to the Western Conference Finals. Finishing touches on this series, Zach.
I'll probably give you the lion's share of this. It just it would have been nice to have seen how things went if Ja Morant hadn't have been injured. And also from the Grizzlies standpoint, which they'll have to think about, like even with the Morant injury, if you don't lose that first game when Draymond gets ejected, you probably get it back to a game 7 because that's probably the one that they let get away. I thought they were going to win that one and they end up losing it. And if you get it back to a game 7 today at home without Ja Morant, who knows what can happen, right? Ain't that what they say? The Warriors haven't been very warrior-ish to me. But good. Another step in the right direction for the Grizzlies. And for all of you people that believe that youth, you got to go through the fires of the NBA and all of that stuff. I mean, that will add credibility to that claim. I would just say that when Dr. J first made the NBA Finals and played Portland had at least to that point, the youngest finals team ever. And they lost the first 2 to the 76ers, came back and won 4 straight. So sometimes it does come down to basketball. But good series. I like their team. They have some decisions to make on some players. But they have nothing to hang their head about. And I think the owner is that young billionaire guy that he used to go play basketball with the players. And they had to stop him from playing basketball with the players because they didn't want anybody to get hurt playing with him. He really wants to win. So good job. What say you, Mr. 411?
Well, I mean, you could take a look at it right here. The comments between Brooks and Steph Curry. And, Brooks feels like, they have a young upcoming team and that the Warriors are an older team. I mean, he's stating the obvious there, but you have to like the energy that's coming from the Grizzlies. Again, it's unfortunate that Morant was injured at one of the most unfortunate times for it to occur, and way that it occurred.
Yes.
But the Grizzlies did show me something. I mean, even without Morant, and then really throughout the entire season, when Morant doesn't play, they're showing you that they do have a team, and that even if you lose your best player, quote unquote, they can still keep things moving. They're known for defense more than anything. They're one of the teams that led the league as far as defense and steals, deflections, that kind of thing, and that ignites their transition and their break. Now, if you catch the Grizzlies in the half court, I think you can get them, and they do rely on that youthfulness, the athleticism, but it all starts from the defensive end of things for them. Outside of Morant, there's not a player on that team though that can get you a bucket with the shot clock running down, or in an ISO type of situation where you have to get it done that way. So maybe one more player that can get their own shot would be a thing that the Grizzlies need to look forward to. As far as the Warriors, they showed some experience there and was able to close it out. Clay really shot it well in that clincher, and that is going to be the key for the Warriors moving forward. Klay Thompson, he's going to have to be that sniper, and if they can do that, that's going to definitely keep them in the game, because ultimately with the Warriors, and we'll talk about the Western Conference Game 7 today, and that'll depend on who the opponent may be according to our predictions. But the Warriors are small, and Draymond Green playing center, that only can kind of hold serve for a little while. The Grizzlies, again, they had Morant. It probably would have taken the Warriors out in this second round, but that's something I'm going to take a look at too on the Warriors side. But congratulations to the Warriors. They do have the experience going forward as far as players that have been there, done that. So
some of them
wouldn't be totally shocked if they make it to the finals, but depending on their next opponent is where I'm gonna go with my prediction on that. But overall, I love the series. I love the intensity between both teams, and just the dynamic of the upcoming team versus the veteran team. It's so ironic to look at it that way, because the Warriors at one point in time was that team. They were that young up and coming team that didn't quite make it out of around here or there. Because I remember when they lost to the Spurs. Remember they jumped on the Spurs one year.
Yes.
Won the game in San Antonio. Things were looking good, and the Spurs came back and took them out. So that's the nature of sport. But yeah, man, good series though.
Not bad. Like the main thing that the Grizzlies need to focus on now is Ja Morant's knee. And the only thing I'll add to Dylan Brooks, and this is what's bad about being young. Dan Marino played in the Super Bowl his second year in the NFL, and he was the best passing season ever in NFL history. I don't care what anybody else tell you. First guy to go for 45 plus touchdowns. I want to say, 5,000 plus yards. He threw for 48 touchdowns. Well, it was 45, but 48 touchdowns that year. Everybody thought Miami was next, and Dan Marino never got back to another Super Bowl. And you can even go with Aaron Rodgers, has not got back to another Super Bowl. So it's good to be young, but you have to take advantage of your opportunities now. With that Ja Morant knee, it might be the next 5 years for them is their window where they got to try to get their title, because I'm concerned about that knee, that in a situation like that, it gets injured. That just doesn't seem normal. And
also, you have to be careful with Morant too, as far as the injuries. Remember Baron Davis, right?
Yes.
Super talent. I mean, if you played fantasy basketball, he would have been your number one pick.
I wonder why you say that.
Yeah, because he did some of everything: steals, blocks, he shot threes, free throws, assists, rebounds for a guard. I mean, he did pretty much everything. But it only lasts for so long, and then the injuries catch up with you. And he was an explosive type player, like a Derrick Rose, like an Allen Iverson, and guys of that nature that use so much athleticism to make up for their size. Watch how many times Morant hit the floor. All those hits add up. It's exciting to watch, but he also has to be careful and find out how to get a little Chris Paul in this game too, so that he can last longer. Because once your athleticism starts going away, what else do you have to go to? And that's something that the organization needs to start, putting into his mind and helping him out in the offseason with that too. But other than that, I like the team, and definitely going to look forward to seeing them come back next season, because I think they have a bitter taste in their mouth now, and they want to come back stronger.
Agreed. And he has a slight frame, so people might say, well, Steph Curry has a slight frame too, but they play basketball differently. I'm with you. He is running back-ish.
Yeah.
And that he gets a lot of hits, as you're saying, that maybe you wouldn't want him to take with the type of frame that he has.
Right. All right. Well, speaking of frames, Zach, if your car gets knocked out of frame, and that things are not going the way it should, you can also always reach out to James Spicer. He's the owner of Precision Tune Auto Care in Warner Robins, Georgia. His number's on here, 478-923-6510. Check out Mr. Spicer. He can take care of your auto needs. He's ASE certified as well.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I always look for that seal, Zach. All right.
Gotcha.
Darren Ford, veteran quality lawn. Darren Ford, he is a veteran, as you can see here. And the flag might be a giveaway on the card, but we definitely appreciate his service to the country. But he also has another service here. He has quality lawn care, so he takes care of your yards, all your lawn care needs. Check him out. 478-318-3814. Veteran quality lawn. And Zach, you know what? Yes, sir. And we need thank you for all your dedication to our country over the years. You are military, and we definitely appreciate that. I don't know what your ranking is, but who cares? We appreciate that.
Well, thanks.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward, Zach. Let's get into a game 7. All right.
Oh, we got a couple of them.
Yeah. Now this game right here, I'm ready, Zach. I'm ready to, get in the kitchen, get some things together, maybe get some wings, get a favorite beverage together, sit back and watch this slugfest that's coming up. The Bucks at the Celtics, game 7. All right, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I guess you want me to go.
Yeah.
Well, my expectation is maybe. Well, I will say I'm hoping it's going to come down to the wire, where you get a really good game 7. Jason Tatum had an excellent game last game, 46 points. And currently, I would say he's on his way to being somewhere to being Clyde Drexler and or Karl Malone, maybe even Charles Barkley. Excuse me, in the sense that MVP-ish potential possibly. That would get you in the Charles Barkley, maybe Karl Malone area. But even if he doesn't, I know people don't remember this. Clyde Drexler was a very good player.
Yeah.
In the 80s and then early 90s, he kind of sort of broke through. He had to deal with those Lakers teams and some of the other good teams out west, like Phoenix back in that time frame. Eventually, late 80s, he gets to a finals with Portland. Then he got back there again early 90s. And I'm kind of counting everything before the Houston time. But he was your lead guy, and he had you in championship contention. That 3-year window should have probably made 3 straight finals and won one out of there. But as I said, opportunity and things kind of sort of happened. Maybe I need to put Tatum in that step right now, that he's on that Clyde Drexler path. Okay, show me something. Can you get it done? Can you break through? Right now, he's had to deal with LeBron. So that was tough on him. Then he's been dealing with Kevin Durant and now Giannis. Those are some individuals that you have to, they're not going to give you anything. If you're going to get anything out of it, you got to get through that. And this is what Boston is building for. And I think it's a good possibility if Boston can win this game 7, they can go out and win the NBA title because they should match up with everybody. They'll get the other Williams kid that they have back, hopefully healthy. And it's just a matter, I think, of what you get from Tatum today. Because the 2 games prior to this last game 6, he was good, but he threw you a 10-point clunker in there in game 3. And as far as Giannis, I know Giannis is going to I will say I expect Giannis to show up. I don't know if Giannis showing up is a 40 and 15 game. That would be pretty amazing on the road to Game 7. But my guess is that should be like a 30 and 12 game. How efficient he is. So how much help does he get from the rest of his Bucks teammates? Can the Bucks make some threes? Because they're going to have opportunities. I've said this a few times while we're talking about it. I won't make my prediction yet. I guess we're going to probably wait on that. But it should be a good game. These teams are evenly matched up. And it's just a matter of, for Boston, I think Tatum showing up, because I think the other guys are going to give you what they give you. So Tatum needs to show up, be efficient. And for Milwaukee, it's just, can anybody support Giannis?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this matchup, Zach. I think it's going to be a defensive battle today. Scoring is going to be at a premium here. It's really going to be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 90 to 90 something type game. Today, these teams they've played each other 6 times now over the last 2 weeks. There's really not much that you can, disguise at this point. It's just going to be more so about execution. And, the game that Boston lost in Game 5 at home, there was some things as far as execution goes down the stretch that they just didn't get done. Otherwise, this might have already been over. But and also with the Bucks, they are finding a way to get this done so far without Middleton, and that really shows the connection that they have as a unit. Today I'm really looking to see if your guy, this gentleman right here who blocked the shot right there, we're looking for Holiday to see what kind of game Holiday is going to bring today. Will he make things a lot easier for Giannis today, so that Giannis doesn't have to really try to force feed everything. If he can open up the offense, then I think that's going to really be tough for the Celtics to get it done because if Holiday's hitting open shots, if he's making good decisions with the ball, and I would say Grayson Allen, that'll be a guy to look out for today too, because he's been on the most wanted, what you call it, the missing person type of billboard. Haven't seen him in a while since the Chicago matchup.
He was very bad last game. He had I think his plus minus, I think he was minus 20. He was definitely minus 20 something.
Yeah, but they need him. They need somebody else to be able to make shots. And if he can give them those shots from the outside, that will also it'll be a surprise to Boston, because that really hasn't been a factor. And that's the kind of player, that's the type of play that you need in a Game 7. You need some kind of, out of body experience or something going on that the other team just can't account for. You can count on Giannis having a huge game today. He's going to get numbers, just by sheer, strength and force. He's going to get his numbers. It's a matter of, from the Bucks' perspective, of who else is going to lighten the load, make it tougher for Boston, because Boston's a good defensive team. So you have to be able to hit them from different angles in order to, nullify that. The Bucks, good defensive team as well. So on the other side of the ball, I want to see Boston, find creative ways to get Tatum easy looks. And the X factor for me on that team as well will be Jaylen Brown. If Jaylen Brown is hitting, now it's really going to be doomsday for the Bucks. So those are the things I'm looking for in the series. And I'll pass it back to you so we can go ahead and give our prediction.
For the Bucks to win, see, when you say out of body experience, I don't think it Al Horford, quote unquote, gave you something that you didn't expect, but I don't think it has to be an out of body experience. Like for the Bucks, I don't believe that the Celtics are going to allow Giannis. Like, it's going to go one or two ways. They're either going to play Giannis one-on-one and say, hey, score as many points as you can and beat us, which I'm not sure if they're going to do that. I think they're going to try to limit Giannis, and then it's going to come down, can guys hit open shots? And you're either a pro or you're not a pro. If you hit open shots, you should be able to hit open shots. It's just what it is. So I don't think that's asking Grayson Allen or any of these other guys, Pat Connaughton, to do anything that they wouldn't normally be expected to do. Stand at the 3-point line, hit a open shot. With that said, and I've been saying this, it seems like every game, that I don't see how Milwaukee is overcoming this because they don't have much offense. I'm going to take the Celtics in a blowout. I just feel like it's a close Milwaukee win or a blowout by the Celtics. I kind of sort of brought this up the other day also, that if the Celtics can't beat the Bucks now, when they're missing Middleton, when they have home court advantage, when the Bucks are really struggling with offense, and I'm not even going to put it all on Jrue Holiday, because even if you get what you get from Giannis today and you get something from Jrue Holiday, who's the next guy? Because I do expect Jason Tatum to play decent today. I would be, I won't say I'd be shocked, but it would be a disappointment if he stepped back and didn't play well. I expect Jaylen Brown, as you're saying, to play well. And then Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is 28. I want to say Brown is 26 and Tatum is 24. These are all young guys with a lot of playoff experience to go along with the other guys. Game 7 at home. If they can't do it now, just once again, when you going to get it done? When you got to crack through. So I'm going to take them. And when I say a blowout, I'll say 12 plus. And I think they are ahead comfortably come midway through the fourth quarter, that it just becomes too much for Giannis to carry by itself.
All right. Okay. Well, my prediction is this will be interesting then, because my prediction is that the Bucks are going to pull this game out. I think that the Bucks are going to defensively find a way to get it done. For some reason, they're in this series, they tend to play better on the road than they do at home. It's weird. Yeah, it's as crazy as that sounds. It just seems like they do. I think I guess it's more heat, not to make use your team name, but I guess it's something about it when they have that their backs against the wall type of scenario. And they do have the guy. They do have Giannis.
Oh, and absolutely.
And when you have that going into a one game scenario, I'm going to lean that way. But by no means, I'm gonna say it on here. Like, Tatum is really taking his game to a whole nother level, and especially heading into next season, he'll probably be in the league MVP type conversation. If their team is playing great defense next year too, which means their record should be a lot better. Because Boston had a slow start this season.
Yes,
and then they came on strong, and so if they can put that together for an entire season, you might be looking at Tatum in the MVP conversation, or at least get that other award that they came up with now too. So it's going to be good, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks in a close one. So that's our predictions for that, Zach.
Well, I hope your prediction is right, because I am not someone that is a Celtics fan. I'm just gonna go with I just want to put this out here, because maybe everybody is paying attention. If Boston loses this series, that means they will have lost a game 7 on their home floor, and it will be the 3rd game in a series that they will have lost. That to me would present some very serious, problems where you got to really do some soul search. Because to not only lose 3 games, because if you told me, okay, they lost game 1 and 2 there, and then they lost game 5 there, okay, but I mean, usually we don't see home teams losing game 7 used to be a really big deal, and to lose 3 games in the series when the other team is down a man, that might tell me that Boston might need to look. Maybe that'd be good for the Lakers, that you ship Anthony Davis off there for some pieces or what have you, because you'd have to change. Like, you would have to change some things in my mind. And I guess before we move on, I'll just ask, if Boston, because you have them losing today, would that be a scenario where you may have to think about breaking some guys up or get some new blood in when you lose a game 7 at home and then you've lost 2 other games in that series, 2 other home games in that series?
Well, for me, just to answer that question, I would say not yet, because of the team that they're playing. They're playing the team that won the championship last year. They played a team that's been in the championship mix for the last couple seasons. So I would just make some fine tuning adjustments.
Right.
Maybe find another big to help them out. Maybe something like that. Like get a true center in there, someone else who can block shots, because they already play a good defense. They have a good defensive scheme already. But imagine if they had a shot blocker behind all of that, because they really don't have that. They have good hustle guys, energy guys in the middle, but to have a
Gobert.
Hey man, yeah, he's the answer to a lot of teams' issue. I mean, if Boston can figure out a way to do that, and you can't really put that past Boston, because the organization has made great moves since the 60s. You know what I mean? So they find ways to get the loopholes or make the trades at the right time and find the right trade partner, and they figure out a way to get things in there. So yeah, but I think that this just be another mountain that they're trying to climb to get to that championship, and it's definitely going to be a tough one and a tough decision to make. But a decision that's not tough to make, Zach, is ptwithgrit.com. If you're looking to transform your look, your body, do some things on the health side of things and get yourself together, check out Keith Morgan at ptwithgrit.com. He definitely tailors his programs to, your body and your goals and what you're looking for. So if you want to look like Zach and you want to wear like that Under Armour tight shirt, like what he has on now, and have the guns coming out and everything, if you want to look like Zach, man, check out ptwithgrit.com. Zach, it is time now for our next segment.
Yes.
And you remember this song, you can get with this or you can get with that, right? And that was what, Black Sheep,
Yeah,
one of them?
Hey, we're probably the only ones that remember that.
Okay. Well, we're Black Sheep, right?
Yeah.
Get with this or get with that. So our segment here is the this or that segment. We do it that in many different ways, but in this one, here's Zach. I'm gonna put 3 players up on the board, and let's talk about which one we would keep. Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, or Ja Morant.
How long are we keeping them for?
They're your guy, period.
I mean, are we keeping them for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
No, you just decide. You're the general manager. This is your organization. You have the first pick in the draft. This is your franchise guy. Which one you taking?
Damn it.
I think a lot of general managers will say that.
I'm gonna take Tatum.
Wow. Okay, Jason Tatum. All right.
And I guess let me explain why.
Yes, sir.
I like Morant. Morant is exciting, but just from a league standpoint, little guys don't win championships. If as the best player on your team, so if Morant and or Doncic win a championship, they will be going against what the norm is in the NBA. Typically, it's going to be bigger guys, and I know Doncic isn't a little guy, but he's not a LeBron James type big. He's more in that James Harden type mode, and I've kind of seen how it works with James Harden. Not saying that the Mavericks couldn't win a title, but it seems Tatum fits at least the framework for guys that end up holding the championship at the end of the year at some point. But that would be a very tough decision because I would want Morant, but I
Yeah.
can't. Like unless you get a really kind of well constructed Curry type team when they won in was it 2015, I believe,
Yeah.
or if you get a Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons team constructed like that, it's hard for little guys to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going with the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that, honestly.
Yeah. I would take Doncic. And I'm not saying that like I just like, okay, it was just a quick decision. I just had a little more time than you did. But
Yeah.
I would take Luka. And man, it's tough though looking at all three. But we both agree the same reason why we won't take Morant. I do have concerns about his injury, his frame, and his style of play. As far as a long-term investment.
Yes.
So I would take Luka, at the 6'7", 230 or 240, whatever he is right now. His ability to shoot the three, the ability to play the point guard position at that size as well. And again, constructing the team now, since I'm the general manager, I'm gonna construct that team to fit his style of play. Man, Tatum is a great one to select as well. We're splitting hairs here, but I would just go with the playmaking ability that Doncic has. But man, you can't go wrong with your selection or my selection. So
all three of those guys are probably
yeah,
making all NBA team this year.
yeah,
And
definitely.
and I would say as we start looking at it over the next 5 to 8 years, if they're not, when you got a first, second, and third team, if they're not on, and I'm saying all three of them, if they're not on like 5 teams together over the next 8 years, then something went wrong because they're you know how they like to say who's got next, and I think
Yeah.
we did a segment like that. All three of those individuals do have next. I mean,
Oh, no doubt.
Doncic has already been all NBA, so
Yeah.
it's on Tatum and Morant now, and I think they're both going to get on there this year, and they just have to keep up doing what they're doing.
Yep. All right, man. Before we get to our last topic of the day, somebody who knows what they're doing, Heavenly Spa Mobile. They know what they're doing. If you want to get a massage, you have some body aches, things like that going on, and you just want to take care of yourself, check out Heavenly Spa Mobile.
Hi, I'm LaTanya. I'm the owner of Heavenly Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavenly Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, LaTanya.
Indeed, Heavenly Spa Mobile. She looks forward to seeing you soon. Zach,
Sounds good. I could use a massage.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I'll be checking her out. And she looks forward to seeing you soon. We look forward to seeing Game 7, Mavericks at the Suns. And there it is. This image tells it all right here. Look at Luka having a good time out there. Look at Booker looking all serious and everything. But Game 7, man, this is I didn't expect it to go this far, but we're here now. We're at a Game 7, so let's talk about it, Zach.
Well, this one I can let you really hone in on. I think this is kind of team versus the player. Doncic is definitely the best player of the series. Offensively, he is very difficult to play against, and somewhat in that Giannis kind of formula. But I think and I've said this, so until it doesn't happen at the end of the day, Phoenix has been the best from game 1 up until game 82. Phoenix has been the best team in the NBA. And team, they've had the best coach, they've had the best collection of players, they've had the best GM. They have had a goal of trying to get not only I should say not only get back to the NBA finals, but win the finals. I believe it's going to be a lot to ask for the Mavericks to go into Phoenix and win a game 7. Devin Booker and Chris Paul have thrown up some terrible games. So it gives credence to me saying that they can go out there and lose. I just feel like Dallas is more of a one-man team, and you're asking guys like Maxi Kleber. Jalen Brunson has done a good job of coming out. He's going to get himself paid a substantial increase over what he has now. But Dorian Finney-Smith, and this is just kind of what you said about what the Bucks are doing. That you're looking for guys like this that don't necessarily have a championship pedigree to go on the road in the game 7 to do it. And more to the point for me, I'm not a Booker fan like that, but I keep hearing how great Booker is. And as far as Chris Paul, all I ever hear about for all of these Chris Paul supporters is, he's always had the bad luck and this, and this. Life is about opportunities. You don't get an infinite amount of opportunities. We should know this. People that look like you and I know this. Women know this. And, I'll even go with Caucasian males that help build this country. Understand, you only get so much opportunity, which is why the U.S. was branded the land of opportunity. You have to seize the moment. No one's going to give it to you. If Chris Paul wants a championship, if Chris Paul wants to be a champion, then he needs to go out there and get it. And he's thrown up enough bad games that it is in this series that it's on him. And I won't have any excuses for Chris Paul when this is said and done. His window is there. It was there last year. It's there now. And I guess I'll jump the gun a little bit on the prediction. I just don't see how, if we're talking tomorrow and Dallas is playing in the Western Conference Finals, I'll be totally shocked.
All right. So your prediction is officially?
I got the Suns. And not only do I have the Suns, I'm going to take the Suns and blow out. Like, it's going to be a non-competitive game to me. I have to believe that they coming out fired up.
Okay. All right. Well, as you know, I have the Suns going to the NBA Finals. So go ahead. So we can go ahead and let the cat out the bag that, we both have the Suns winning this game. Okay. So with that said, Dallas, I believe Dallas they're going to come out red hot. I think they're going to come out hot early and hit a lot of shots and get what they want kind of early in the game. And then it's going to settle in. But some keys to this matchup, man, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Suns. They normally run their offense where they set the high screen, and it's called top of the key area, like 3-point at the top where the 3-point line is. And then
go ahead and educate us. Good job.
Where the free throw line is. So right in that area, they usually set screens for Chris Paul up top. They usually set it there with the big, and then he comes around and probes. And then off the ball, they'll have Booker. He'll set like a back screen for the center. And what they're trying to do is create these different matchups and confuse Dallas defensively on who to pick up. So are you going to pick up on Paul, or are you going to trail him? Are you going to stick with Booker? Because, he's going to pop out now for a look. So are they going to switch with Booker? But then, with all that said, Booker's setting the back screen on the center, which is generally Ayton. And that's going to lead to what I'm going to say in a few seconds here. But that usually leads for Ayton diving to the basket. And since the big was involved in this, the original screen, you have Ayton with a mismatch heading towards the basket. So that's what I'm looking for to see how Dallas handles that play. And really to see if they all stay home. Do all three defenders switch? and just make Phoenix have to figure it out from there versus them having to play from an advantage point. So that's really what I'm looking at to see if Monty Williams is going to implement that play and run it a lot in this game. So if they do, and if Dallas doesn't switch on all that, then Dallas is going to be in for a long day. And so we'll see how it all plays out in the end. But we both have the Suns advancing.
I can see it.
Yes, sir.
Well, I as I said, this would be very shocking.
Yeah, man. Well, look, Zach, great show, man. We got it in. We have time to get prepared for these games.
We sure do, and you did a great job leading us here to the finish line. Appreciate it, Mr. 411.
Yeah, it can't be done without having, I would say a backcourt mate, but you were more of the guy that rolls to the basket when we played. So Dorian was the backcourt mate. Dorian was shooting the threes from the outside. But
good old Dorian.
Yeah,
but have him on one day.
Yeah, it'd be good to get him on there. I think he's over in C-Town, so it'd be nice to get some of his thoughts in the sports world. And we'll work to see if we can get that done, Zach. We'll have our people reach his people.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach, it doesn't work, like you're Sean Kemp without the dunking, and I'm Gary Payton without the defense. So, but that Gary Payton Sean Kemp connection was pretty good. And that's what we have here, man. So appreciate you, man, and all the things you do. We thank everybody for watching and listening to the show. So don't feel free to comment and definitely hit that like, subscribe, notification buttons. Again, you can help us out that way, and it doesn't even cost you a thing. I mean, where else can you do that at? So help us out.
Yes. We would appreciate it, most definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, we thank all our sponsors as well for their contributions to the show. And again, none of this is possible without the man upstairs, and also without you all tuning in and checking us out and spreading the word. So for Zach, I am Mr. 411. We are the Sports Brothers. Thank you for watching and listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy those game sevens.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Peace.